guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Stephanie and I'm here to give you my October wrap-up. I'm gonna go over the books that I read. I believe I said I was gonna read about 10 books. I only read 9, I think. Some were not in my TBR for October. There was one that was added because it was a NetGalley arc. So yes, I will go over that. So the first book I'm going to talk about is actually one that I started in September. It's actually one that I started in September, but I didn't get to finish it until the beginning of October. So I was like, well, I might as well just count it for my October wrap up. Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. And this one was okay. I would give this maybe like a 3.5. I really liked the characters Nestor and Nena, which is short for Magdalena. I think the only thing that I didn't particularly like about maybe the story, I mean, I like the whole war aspect. I like that, you know, these Yankees, or that they called them, pretty much like the northern invaders, were coming down to, you know, Mexico. They were going to come and invade their land and, you know, pretty much take their land. So I did like that aspect of the book. I think just the vampire part, because there were creatures that were there, it was just odd, I guess, to me. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. If anybody has read it or knows about the book, maybe it's just me, but these vampires are very weird. They're very weird. I didn't understand the purpose of them. I just didn't feel very, I guess, satisfied with the whole vampire part of the story. But yeah, I did like the relationship with Nestor and Nena. They had some cute moments. I just liked their back and forth, and so I like that part, and I like the war aspect part. But yeah, the vampires, not so much. But yeah, I would give this a 3.5. I believe this is my first time reading from this author. So I would want to see what else she has and maybe kind of explore something a little bit different and see maybe if that suits me better. So yeah, Vampires of El Norte is what I read. The second book that I read was Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. So the main character, her name's Dr. B, and I'm not going to pronounce her last name because it's very hard. And then Levi, which is her nemesis. She keeps telling him, like, straight to his face sometimes, like, oh, I know you hate me. Oh, I know you don't like me. Oh, I know you don't want me here. Oh, I know you're just trying to sabotage me and things like that. And he keeps telling her, like, no, like, why do you keep saying that? Like, that's not how I feel. So I think that was the only annoying part about Dr. B. She just kept telling him that, like, oh, you don't like me. Oh, you're my enemy. We're sworn enemies. I know we're sworn enemies. And I'm like, okay, girl, calm down. Be quiet. He keeps telling you, like, you're misunderstanding. That's not right. Like, and she just keeps on and on and on. So I was like, ah, stop it. Listen. Yeah, I really liked it. This book in particular, Love on the Brain, other than her being a little bit annoying, there was some little quirky moments, you know, that they had together, like her getting stuck. I believe in like a cemetery or something, and she had to call him to come get a ladder, and there he was. He's like, I'm on my way. And it's like, really, like, how do you keep saying he doesn't like you when he's like running out to go get you? He's like, don't move, I'm coming right away. It's like, okay, like that would be my first hint, like, okay, this guy's literally going out of his way to come meet me and save me because they locked me in a cemetery because I was running. First off, I would never run because no. I tried that. My knees are broken. They've never been the same since. So we have quit running. So anyway, so yeah, they're working on this project called Blink, and it's basically to create like a super safe helmet because Levi's friend, unfortunately years ago, passed away from, I believe, a rock climbing accident, and yeah, just not good, you know, brain injury. So yeah, so now he's on a mission. He believes in her work, in Bee's work, and wants to help her create this helmet, which is going to be, you know, life-saving. Starts noticing like little things like, you know, some of her equipment that she's ordered or, you know, requested to have come in when she joins the project hasn't arrived. So she like is getting mad at Levi, like, oh my gosh, because you don't like me and I'm your sworn enemy, you're not getting all these things. And he's like, I said I was gonna order them, like I did, like something's wrong. So these little things start happening where, you know, they don't make sense. So we get to towards the ending, you know, I guess the climax of the story, and we find out that there has been someone who's been slowly sabotaging her from the beginning, and it's because of a grudge, which was just not on her part, but on this other person's part, just ridiculous. Like, get over yourself. You did not have to sabotage this girl's work, Bee's work, because you were butthurt. So that's all I'll say about that because I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to spoil it. So, but yeah, the truth is uncovered. Levi saves the day. She finally gets it in her head that he likes her. And yeah, they just create a beautiful relationship after that. But anyways, I won't say more because my third book that I read was Love Theoretically by Allie Hazelwood, and guys, it was so good. I know actually that this was the best book by Allie by far. It was so good, just so good. So okay, so we're following Elsie Hanaway, and she is currently teaching at the Boston College. And then we have Jonathan Turner. And so this is also an enemies to lover as well. So she dislikes him because he wrote this article about theorist, and she's a theorist, but right now she's working at Boston College because she hasn't been able to get that opportunity to, you know, get that job. So because of that, she had to join a fake dating app, which basically means that people will hire her as their fake date, you know, and just, you know, pretend for like a party, you know, come with me to this party, and, you know, or come with me to this wedding for the day, or, you know, just join me on something. So she is fake dating Greg Turner, which is actually Jonathan's younger brother, for like 6 months, fake dating. So that's been her longest client because she works at the college, so she's not really making a lot of money, you know, as a professor. That's not her dream job, that's not what she wants to do, but because her mentor keeps telling her, you know, just don't worry, just stay where you're at, just stay where you're at. So yeah, I just love this story so much. I thought that Elsie and Jonathan were just such a great couple, and that, I guess, I don't know if I would necessarily call it enemies to lover, just because there was never any hate on his part, I would say. So well done, like just well done. I liked the problem that was in the book. I liked the guy villain. I liked how everything was handled. It was just so well done. And I loved Greg as well. He was fun. And I recommend this book to anybody who loves love. So the fourth book that I read was The Only One Left by Riley Sager. So good. 5 out of 5. It was great. So let's go over it a little bit. So we start off with Kit. She is pretty much struggling. She's struggling because we see her pretty much coming from a pretty rough, kind of, I wouldn't say rough background. She just had some very difficult things kind of happen. She's not really close to her dad. There was a moment where she was accused of possibly, just being negligent of one of her patients, which happened to be her mother. And that resulted in her mother overdosing. So there was that whole thing, but twists and turns, let me just say that. She goes to a new client and they're like, okay, we can let you go to this person. Her name is Lenora Hope. And they're like, whoa, Lenora Hope? Like, she's famous around there because she was accused of killing like her parents, I think her sister as well. So yeah, there was that. And whoa, it gave off like some creepy vibes. So she finds out that there was a previous nurse who has disappeared, kind of left without a trace, but the lady that's kind of in charge keeps telling her that, no, she left us, don't worry about it, like, you're the new nurse. But then she starts finding strange things. She starts finding like the old nurse's stuff, and she's like, okay, something is definitely wrong here. But then when she starts helping Lenora, who doesn't really talk, but then she finds that she can kind of communicate with her through typewriting, because Lenora keeps telling her like, I didn't do it. So she's like, well, okay, tell me. So she starts like, having the stories written out of what actually happened that night. So we get the two timelines. So we get the present day, and then we get from Lenora's perspective as she's writing out her story. Yeah, then creepy things start happening, like her papers start being moved around, like the things that she's been writing on the typewriter, like the papers have been like taken out of the machine, the typewriter machine, and like placed beside, and they're like, well, she can't do it because she can't move, so there's no way that, she's doing this. And then she just starts hearing strange things, like strange movements, and so she's just trying to uncover what is happening. So lots of twists, I tell you. So yes, I loved it so much. It was so good. I loved how everything kind of wrapped up as well, like the conclusion, the big reveal, that twist, like it was great. It was great, and I wouldn't expect anything less, because so far everything I've read from Riley Sager has been amazing. So yeah, without saying much more, because I want to delve into it much more, but I'm gonna try to keep it together and try to keep the mystery for anybody who wants to read it. But yes, read it. It's good. It's very good. I liked it. If you want a spooky read. I know it's November, but that's okay. And then the fifth book was another Riley Sager book, Lock Every Door. Guys, I did not see the twist coming. I did not. It was not anywhere near in my imagination. You know, you always hear about like body snatchers and things like that. Like, you know, they want you for your brain. They want you for your... What am I saying? I'm delusional right now, guys. I've not had good sleep. Anyways, it's not a zombie book. I'll say that, I guess. But it was so good. Okay, from the beginning. It's a 5 out of 5. So we start with Jules Larson, and she gets the opportunity to live in the most prestigious apartment ever, and one that she's always wanted to live in since she was younger. And it was like a dream of her and her sister, which there's a mystery there, which is very crazy. But it's called, the apartments are called the Bartholomew. And they're like, we want you to come interview for the position. We want you to be like a house sitter. So she goes, she does an interview. This like lady's asking her like all these questions like, do you have close relatives? Do you have any relation, like, are you in a relationship? Do you have friends? You know, things like that. Like, because you cannot have anybody in this apartment, like, at all. Like, nobody can be here, can only be you. And I was already like, whoa, this is intense. But for the most part, everybody that's house sitting there has, like, no one. There's, like, they have no connections to anybody. So they're like, we're going to pay you $12,000 to live in this apartment for the 3 months. She's like, yes, I need it. Like, I have no money to my name. I need this job. So she stays there, and then like weird things start happening. Like she starts hearing like weird noises, but then she like befriends another girl that's living like, I think, above her. And, you know, they're like, yeah, I really don't, you know, they kind of start talking, kind of start sharing personal family stories and things like that. And she's like, yeah, I don't have a family either. I really don't have anywhere to go to. But then all of a sudden, like, she's gone. Like, what's happening? So once like that happens, like she starts trying to uncover like, okay, what is happening in this apartment? And, you know, as we go, like, you just start learning like, oh my gosh, like these things that you think are not real are real. Like, honestly, I kind of believe it, you know, after hearing the story, like the twist at the end and like how they got away with it and things like that and what they were doing, you know, rich people things. It's just what rich people do. And just kidding. I don't know. But I do believe in, you know, maybe some parts of this book. I guess if you read it or if you know what I'm talking about, I think you're kind of like, yeah, you know, I could see that. That could definitely happen in real life. And honestly, yeah, I do see it. But it was a good book. I know some people are kind of like about it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great plot. I liked everything about it. The only thing I guess I felt a little bit dissatisfied, maybe I would give it like a 4.5, would be that one of the things about her sister, like it didn't really get resolved, or we didn't really get, you know, a complete closure with it. So that part kind of sucked. And I do hear that it's going to be made into a television series, so I'm excited. I would like to watch it because the things that were in this book and the creep factor were just perfect for October. So I recommend it for, you know, anyone who wants to get a little creeped out. And yeah, that was a great read. That was a great time. I loved it. I also did read a book by Daniel L. Jensen called A Fate Inked in Blood. And it was an ARC that I got from NetGalley. And guys, not because the book wasn't good, because there was definitely some interesting things in there, but it definitely took me a while to read. And I believe I had it for like a month, and I literally took maybe 2 weeks to finish it. So yeah. And I think on Goodreads, I believe I gave it like a 4. I guess my only gripe with it would be the main characters, you know, very, I wouldn't say instant love. I just felt some things at the beginning were maybe moving a little bit too quick. And not gonna lie, I was definitely having some trouble with some of the words. I could not pronounce a lot of them. But it follows, as we find out, she's a shield maiden. Her name is Freya. And apparently she's like a part of this big prophecy who's going to make the king of Scaland pretty much conquer, you know, the rest of these other places, and he's gonna become like the ultimate powerful guy, you know. So he has to like marry her, even though he's already married, but then he has like this handsome son. And yeah, you know, there was some great moments in it. I definitely liked the battle scenes. That was awesome. I really, really loved the battle scenes. I did read her other series, the Bridge Kingdom series. It's a duology. I really, really enjoyed those books. So yes, definitely those are top tier books for me from her. So I know she has more. I haven't read any of the other ones, but yeah, this one, the twist ending was, whoa, so good. It was so good. So that's why I bumped it up to the 4, because I was like, that's good. That's a top tier twist. And she did it good, and that made me want to read a second book. If she makes a second book, I'm going to read it, because even though I can't pronounce a lot of the words that were in there, I still want to read it. So yeah. So when it does come out in February, this is from her website. So pretty. And that's exactly how it's going to look in like her books from like Barnes and Noble. So pretty. Or in Amazon, I think, as well. But it comes out in February. But it was very, very, it was good. It was good. I liked it. Yeah, just a little few things in like the beginning of the book I didn't quite like. That like really quick attraction to each other. I thought it was going to be like maybe a enemies to lover type thing, but it definitely was not. Like, she was instantly like, I'm attracted to you. So like, I want you. So, but other than that, it was great. It was great. The battle scenes were amazing. The plot twist. There was definitely some side characters that were very interesting that I'm wanting to know what is going on there. It leaves you wanting more. Okay, and then where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count. The next books that I read was the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. I did a whole drinking mess of a review on my last video if you want to check that out, and I will link that down below if anybody wants to watch that train wreck. So yeah, now I know why, you know, as booktubers or just YouTubers in general, like once, like, you know, they make, you know, you know, as you go, you make more videos and stuff, but then they're like, look back at some of their old ones and they're like, oh, we should hide those. So yeah, that one is probably going to be one that I hide because it was just a complete mess. Maybe, you know, some people have watched it, so that's cool, and I appreciate whoever watched it or who will watch it. Thank you. But anyways, I'm not gonna go over those books because I went into them too much on my last video. So yes, so I read those. Anyways, that is my wrap up for the month of October. I did actually want to share my books, but I'm gonna wait for the rest of them to come in, for my other copies from A Curse for True Love to come in, and once they come in, I will go ahead and show that to you. But I am a plant enthusiast, so I actually just got a plant in, so I was like, why not show this random thing to you guys? So let me do that. Okay, so yeah, before I started expanding my collection on books, I actually was a plant collector. And yeah, I just went overboard and just started buying a bunch of plants. And I started following a bunch of plant tubers, and yeah, we got into a bit of an obsession. But I've since calmed down. I don't buy them as much. But this one, I do still follow a lot of my plant growers on Instagram. So this is one of the plants that I received today. It's called Ahoya Pubicalix Pink and Silver Ghost. And yeah, it was shipped all the way from Florida to Texas, and keep in mind this was in the cold, so I'm hoping it does well, you know. So anyways, that is all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please hit the bell notifications. I should hopefully have my November TBR up soon, hopefully this weekend. Things were just a little crazy these past couple of days, so I'm hoping to get back on track. So I hope to post that one by the end of this week. But anyways, thank you so much. Please leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye.